Good morning, guys. Hope you're well. So in this video, we're going to explain how you can actually make a lot more money making your own liquidity pools rather than using someone else's. Because typically when someone makes a liquidity pool, what happens is it's served its purpose for a few days and people just leave their funds in there and everyone starts adding, but no one actually realizes you can actually make a lot more money if you adjust the pool's fee or deposit amount or range, whatever. So we're going to show you some examples. Example number one, if this doesn't all make sense to you or you don't understand it fully, if I swap one Solana on useless, it will tell me what it will swap for. So my fee is going to be zero point 0.1 roughly speaking, and it's going to go to Jupiter Z and it's going to swap it to useless. So it's going to use some sort of liquidity pool. I don't know what liquidity pool it's going to use, but I will route through one of them. And for example, I made this pool for useless and I've got $600 in there and it's a very low fee. So it has good amount of volume. You can see here the volume is higher than the liquidity. So I just have to compound and grow it. So if we take a look at what's happening here, useless is a good example of pools made well. So we've got our 0.25 standard pool and then we've got a zero point 0.2 pool on Meteora, I believe, which is probably the best performing pool. So this one here. And you can see here, even though it's the lowest fee, actually zero point 0.2 is earning more than everything else. Yeah, it's getting the most volume. As long as it gets a high amount of volume and the TVL is good, it should do well. Yeah. And that's simply because, not because of the TVL, it's just because the pool's getting used a lot more. So how do we capitalize on this? If we use useless as an example, now, doing the lowest feed tiered on a token that doesn't have volume, you're better off doing it on 1%, in my opinion, because you'll get it used. Now let's take a look and see what's performing well. So I'm going to filter here. I'm going to put 1,000 into here, and what that's going to do is it's going to filter out all the basically tokens that don't have much TVL. Now I'm going to take a look at this list just as an example. You can do some Meteora as well. This one is a 2% pool and it's yielding a very good amount. So I could come in with a 1% pool and a smaller TVL, and I'll probably match that or do better. If you've got more than the TVL, you're going to do really well. So I kind of want low TVLs. This one again is doing well, and Troll Useless, that's a mix. And we want to see something like Goat Solana. I think this one's been around a while and it has quite a low TVL. Is this one that's been around a while? Possibly. So I really, really want to find one like this. Yeah, I think this one's been around a while. So basically, we're just checking out the token now. Liquidity is that, and the volume is that. So this isn't an ideal token to actually farm, simply because the volume is low. There's no demand for us. Now let's go back to our list and find. We could take a look at this one, and we could take a look at the token itself. And so this one's quite a new one. However, if we do a one-sided position, we might do okay on it. So I could come in with a 1% pool. So how do you make a pool? You go here, you obviously buy the token, and you come in, you select your amount, and then you put your position in here. You can create the pool, but you can just buy 1 cent, create the pool, and then adjust it later on however you want. But doing a 1% pool or 0.65 will probably perform better if you put the TVL roughly the same. Definitely if you put it roughly the same, because you're undercutting them in fees, your market making way better than anything else. Now the thing with these is some of these may die. So making the position. Mask is a good example. So for example, Mask, the lowest feed pool is 0.65. Now I want to check and see what the pools are on Meteora, because Meteora is a competition. You don't want to just look on Orca. So there is no low feed tiered pool. There's this one no one's using. There's this one with no TVL. So if you whacked in a few $100s on something like Mask, you could do really, really well actually, because it does have volume. Mask has consistent volume actually. However, I sold Mask the other day just because I didn't like how it was going. I think it's going to go a bit more south. Now, if this is a 2 mil position and the volume is still there, I'll buy it. And I'll do exactly that. I'll make a new pool, 0.10, 0.15, 0.2, and then I'll undercut everyone and I'll grow my balance and it'll rise up with it as well. So you can do full range positions if you want. Now, these brings me to the idea of, okay, this is great on meme coins. How can I apply this to actually tokens that are doing really, really well? So something like Solana Bitcoin you could look at. Now, with these, volume wise, it gives you a better indication. However, you need a larger TVL. So doing it with these tokens are not going to work as well. It's not going to be fantastic. You can see here that's the lowest fee tier, but they've got massive TVL. I think that's probably the teams depositing it, giving it to Orca and saying provide liquidity as a market maker. So Fartcoin could be an example of it as well, but we want a lower TVL. We can even filter the TVL, I think. No, we can't. Can we? No, we can't. We can't filter it up. But useless is here. So useless is lowest fee tier pool is 0.65 on Orca, and it still has a massive amount of volume, TVL, etc. That will slowly get moved by people who realize my pool works better. So I do have a 0.04 pool on useless. Now it might not perform better now because the ranges are so large. However, over time, once I grow it, it will be one that will do really, really well and it will outperform all the other pools and people will be forced to head over to there. So I'm preempting it. Something like Pengu, you could do a low one. So this is one opportunity wise. It's proven itself to you, as in, okay, it's got the 1 hour volume, it's doing well, but TVL is, we can't compete with that. That's a bunch of people. GP is another one as well. So they've got a massive TVL. So we kind of want to sift through and then maybe let's find someone with a low TVL. This one you could compete with, but it's, it's the lowest fee, so you can't compete. This one, what's this? One and Soul. That's one you could look at. 0.16. However, you could put $200 and you could go with a 0.04% or 0.02% on an adaptive fee, and it will probably yield very well. And long term, if that token holds, you can obviously look at that. Render USDC has a decent TVL, very good TVL actually. Yeah, if we're comparing it to my wallet, then definitely it's going to do well. Mask is another one, like I said before, but it's just about you looking and keeping this in the back of your mind, opportunity wise. And Helium is here. I think that's Helium, isn't it? And you could look at these grass as well. Something like this grass long. It works better with long-term projects that are always going to be around, and you can slowly grow it. Like useless, I'm doing. All I'm doing is taking this yield, compounding it, compounding it, compounding it. Once it builds up to a certain position, I'll obviously make smaller ranges with the yield as well. So it's totally up to you how you want to play it. And really and truly, there's opportunity everywhere. There's always a demand for liquidity and lower fees. Now, if you're just coming in and depositing here, you're not thinking smart. You should be looking to give the market the best route to swap the tokens and use your liquidity. And then you can make a lot more money. And sometimes you'll find tokens that don't even have liquidity. So, for example, this one might be a bad example, but let's take a look at it. It's probably got a 1% or 2% fee on Meteora. Yeah. So, off the cuff, the lowest feed pool is 2%. So, you could definitely make this. And it does have a large TVL, but I wouldn't make it for a position for a token like this. But off the cuff, we've got only to compete with a 2% pool. So you can definitely do way, way better than that. So look, I wish you all the best, guys, and take care.